Buff Nation!
Let's go.
Friday vibes at the DNVR bar.
Big Friday vibes.
Day
Sun's
2.
out. Beautiful day.
And day 2 of the NFL draft.
And day 2 of the NFL draft. If you hung with us last night, we'll see you again tonight. Pretty much right after this show wraps, we'll be heading up to Studio B to get rolling.
Yep. Let's make it happen. We are DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We are presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for happy hour, 36 p.m. every single day. Jake, RK here. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Well, everyone's talking about it right now, and that's where we're going to start today. Shane Hooks. We've talked about this guy quite a bit on this show. We talked about him a lot the last few weeks. He committed to Ole Miss. Now he's decommitting.
He's off the hook, so you got to get him on the hook. Man, I don't know. I mean, they've been wanting a big receiver. He's 6'5". Seems to make perfect sense. It always did.
Yep.
I don't know what ended up happening in terms of committing to Ole Miss and decommitting so quickly. But, man, this would, to me, fill a big need. And it almost got exacerbated a little bit with Montana going out.
Right.
You know, obviously he was only 6'2", but he was, of all of the players, probably the possession guy.
Yeah.
So go get Shane Hooks, wrap this thing up, and get a super productive player. Led the Tigers in catches, yards, and touchdowns last season.
Yep. Leading receiver in all categories.
The Triple Crown, as they call it.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see. I mean, he had another few schools in the mix. He was a senior last year, so I'm assuming he's a graduate transfer for this year, which is why I guess he's kind of able to just kind of flip-flop and really do whatever he wants at this point. But another Florida kid, of course, too. We'll talk about a lot of Florida guys today, by the way. But yeah, Shane Hooks, I guess, back on the table.
And I didn't realize, I know, again, kind of a polarizing figure amongst our viewers. Malachi Wideman is also 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
Faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tempting, man. It's tempting.
Malachi Wideman he's a freak, man. If he could just, keep his off-field stuff together, maybe.
I mean, there's no one I would trust more to, be the steering figure for him than Coach Prime. But obviously, he still had some things kind of come up for him when he was with Coach Prime.
Yes, he did. We'll find out. Willie Gaines spoke to Brian Howell, one of the newer receivers, former JSU receiver.
Yep, speed.
Tons of speed. He said he's just really excited to play. Favorite thing about Coach Prime is that he allows you to play true to your potential every game and in practice. He pushes you hard. And he tells you, go out there, play and be you. Of course, loves having Shedeur at quarterback. Says he's taught him a lot on and off the field, watching extra film, reading the defense, and his leadership ability. Willie Gaines, also 3.5 GPA kid.
Ooh, let's go,
pretty
Willie.
Smart, yeah. But he said that he thinks he can play at this level. When asked, I guess, quote
like
is...
Willie grades.
There you go. I'm very excited for the new opportunity because it was a dream to play at this level since I was younger when I was about 4 years old. I know with my type of play, I can play in the Pac-12. He grew up an Oregon fan.
Ooh, interesting. Makes sense. He's fast, right?
Yep.
So, 10 years ago when he was a kid.
When DeAnthony Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, it's all those guys. Michael James.
Oh yeah,
Those teams were crazy.
they were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Former Oregon Duck and former Florida State Seminole, Micah Pittman, has entered the portal.
Is he related to?
Yes.
Okay.
He is Michael Pittman's son and Michael Pittman Jr.'s brother.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
We love bloodlines in Boulder.
Yes, we do. So he was a pretty highly touted recruit back in 2019. 94th overall player, 15th overall wide receiver in the 2019 class. Ended up committing to Oregon. I believe he was there for 2 years. And then he transferred to Florida State, where he was last year. He now re-enters the portal. I don't think he was quite blessed with the amount of size that his brother has, but 5'11", 200.
Kind of, I like that build for wide receivers. That's like almost like a power wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's like not tall, but you get that kind of bowling ball action going over the middle and whatnot.
That's a good point by Nicholas there. You got to realize Coach Prime was offering spots he didn't have. Now Hooks knows he has space too.
Hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of space.
There is.
Coach Prime even said, did you see the video of him kind of promoting the walk-on tryouts?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, we got plenty of scholarships.
Yeah. Come and get him, man. In college, Micah Pittman hasn't really produced much. I don't know if we're kind of just going off name at this point. But at Oregon, so from 2019, 2021,
I mean, he's clearly got something
right
to go from Oregon to Florida State, like in terms of traits.
Right. For sure. But only 38 receptions, 547 yards, and 2 touchdowns in his time at Oregon. And then pull up last year's stats. 32 receptions, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns. So.
Okay. We'll see.
We will see.
I mean, it is fun watching the Florida State fans just melt down.
Yeah.
Every time we get one of their former players.
This one seems like a lock. Omarion Cooper.
Yeah.
He has just entered the portal. Sophomore.
Was this yesterday we were talking about this?
Yep, yesterday he entered.
These days, they're all... that feels like a week ago to me.
I know, man. It's insane. This guy was a 2021 4-star recruit, so not even that long ago.
Yep.
289th play overall, 23rd overall cornerback, 6 foot 186. Actually, that's his recruiting profile. 6 foot 188 now.
Okay.
But went to Lehigh Senior in Lehigh Acres, Florida, which is right outside of Fort Myers, Florida. And the coach of Lehigh Senior, the head coach, when Omarion Cooper was there, was James Chaney, who is now the director of player development at Colorado.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
And he quickly acknowledged that on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, that was actually an old tweet that people dug up. That's what that was.
Oh, why would? Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was the MVP at Coach Prime's camp, high school camp,
like an Under Armour sponsored camp,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, MVP. So Coach Prime knows him. Coach Chaney knows him. This one feels like it's all the stars are aligning.
Yep. Pretty much all but official. His high school scouting report, so back from 2020, his pro comp was Carlton Davis. Pretty good player.
Yeah, great player.
So we'll see. Last year, played in 12 games, had 4 starts, 14 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Got his interception against Boston College, I think it seems. So, Zay Flowers, maybe?
Okay. He has half as many interceptions on his own than all of the corners who transferred out.
And
combined.
Yes, and it was his second year in college,
Yep.
and he only started 4 games. Yeah.
And I like the size for sure.
Yes.
And just, I mean, yeah. It is crazy just on the Florida State transfer thing. The rate or the vigor in which Florida State fans are rooting against Coach Prime.
Oh, yeah.
like I talk about how unhinged they are all the time. I don't think anything can illuminate how unhinged they really are than cheering against the best player in their program's history.
Legitimately.
Like I think it was Go Buffs 22 on Twitter who said, like, could you imagine if Buffs fans were rooting this hard against Ryan Walters?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Buffs fans are rooting for Ryan Walters. You know, I'm sure there'll be a time where we get in a recruiting battle with him and lose. And actually, there was a guy on campus this last week who committed to Purdue. No one was like cursing Ryan Walters' name and saying they hope that they like unretire his number, even though his number is not retired. Which brings me to my next point. Ryan Walters isn't even like the top 100 CU players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to him. He was a good player. But it is insane. Those people are insane.
They're a different breed down there, man. They are very passionate.
And I can only hope that Coach Prime sees it and thinks like, nah, I actually don't ever want to go to FSU.
Yeah. Like he has to see that and think, you know what? I don't really miss this.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope.
I mean,
because obviously that would, if you were putting a power rankings of places Coach Prime is most likely to leave for, the natural reaction would be to say they're number one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just some part of me believes he doesn't even see it. Part of me hopes for some reason he does and just sees how crazy those people are.
He has to be aware of it. People have to tell him, like, you know, hey, man, these people back home are just going crazy over what you're doing in Colorado.
But he probably knows them as well as anyone, and if he went there, then it would just be straight warship all over again.
Yeah, probably. Next guy, not a Florida kid, a Denver kid.
Yeah.
Former Missouri defensive lineman Arden Walker enters the portal. This guy was a 2021 3-star, a high 3-star, 592nd player, 72nd D-line. He is now listed at 6'2", 252. As I said, from Denver, went to Cherry Creek.
Yep. One of those guys that I've talked about where it's just like you just need dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And a dude who's playing, albeit not a lot, in the SEC is a massive upgrade. I'll be saying this every day over the guys who weren't playing at Colorado.
Mm-hmm. So looks like 2021, his first year in college was a redshirt year.
Yep.
Only appeared in 4 games, and then last year saw action in all 12 games. Started. Why did they do this like this? I think he started twice, and then I don't know. Missouri's got to figure out their page here.
What do you have? 2 sacks or something?
Yes, 1.5 tackles for a loss, 6 total tackles. That's it.
Okay.
But a young guy.
Young guy, big, strong.
And Julian Hammond tweeted him his announcement that Walker was going to enter the portal, basically telling him, come on through, man.
Julian Hammond, for those who don't know, point guard on the basketball team.
Yep.
Who also went to Cherry Creek.
Uh-huh. And then Cam, Silman Craig, tweeted Omarion Cooper telling him to come on through too.
Yeah, and Omarion Cooper follows Coach Prime, Coach Chaney, Travis Hunter, Cam.
I mean, it's a lock, man. Right?
I hope so. To me, that's an upgrade over Nico Reed.
Yeah. Another 4-star.
Yep.
And there might be more on the way too.
Yep.
But we can talk about a 5-star cornerback.
Let's.
We talked about one yesterday, and we talked about Ellis Robinson the 4th before. But
I think as recently as yesterday, you thought Ellis Robinson was off the board.
Well, literally, I said the quote, which was, it's going to be pretty hard to pull him away from Georgia, which he mentioned today in this 24/7 Sports article, but also mentioned that he is open to being recruited and that he invites coaches to take their best shot.
Which is a hell of a quote.
Yeah.
A hell of a quote. I love that. This comes just days after he visited Athens. So if we're reading between the lines here, I read wasn't blown away by his visit to Athens. Because if he was a Georgia lock and then he went on campus and it blew him out of the water, then he would have said, yeah, it's over. Don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
He came out of there saying, you know what? Maybe this isn't guaranteed to be the spot for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to take all 5 visits
Well, okay. So he released the top 5. He said his plan was to still officially visit all the rest of those schools besides Georgia. Mm-hmm. But then in this article that came out, he's added 2 more schools to his recruitment, and that's Florida State and USC.
Interesting. But you can only take 5 official visits, I believe.
They changed that rule.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Look at
You
me.
can take unlimited now.
Archaic.
Yeah.
All right. So you can take unlimited official visits.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I would be on a American tour if I was a 5-star recruit.
So this may not be in place yet, but it's coming like this summer, I think, at the latest.
Okay.
Like this is a very recent change.
Man, I would do the whole thing. Arizona State, USC, UCLA, Colorado. Like, you know, I'm going to Florida, Miami, Florida State, Texas. Just see every campus.
Hawaii.
Ole Miss, Hawaii.
Speaking of Hawaii, that's where Oki Salavea committed to.
I'm hyped for him on that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know,
Kinda gets
from
to go back
American
home.
Samoa originally. Go play on the island. That's sick.
For sure. Okay. But
So
yeah.
now Ellis Robinson and CL3
Yes.
in the mix. Could you imagine if they pulled both? 5-star in 2021, 5-star in 22, 5-star in 23, 2 5-stars in 24.
I guess that is the logical progression, right? He's got one each of the last 2 years. When does he start to get multiple? It's
Hey.
going to happen.
Yep. And then imagine 3 years down the road when there's multiple first-round picks coming out of Colorado at corner. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, fun debate on the draft show last night because our good friend Zach Stevens is an Alabama fan. And he claims Jalen Hurts as a Alabama quarterback. So now I was like, cool, I guess we get Christian Gonzalez, first-round pick for the Buffs. Let's go. But in reality, I don't believe that. You got to, wherever your degree or wherever you finish your college,
Right.
that is where you're from.
Yeah, because you had to leave.
Right. And the Lincoln Riley effect is a lot more tangible to point to than Alabama developing quarterbacks.
Sure. Right. For sure. Congrats to Christian Gonzalez, though.
Yes.
Went a
huge-
little lower than we thought. but-
Man, Christian Gonzalez, when they played A&M at Mile High 2 years ago, Christian Gonzalez went crazy defending those insanely talented, receivers, backs, tight ends that they all, they're just, and he had an incredible quote afterwards, which was, "We play man and we're not scared of anybody."
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, we kind of have a little swagger.
Yeah.
We did having to lose the game like 10-7 because we couldn't score a damn touchdown, but the defense was sick, and then Nate Landman got hurt, and it kind of all fell apart from there.
Yeah. That was a ugly offensive football game.
It was so bad. I mean, it was so electric in the stadium every time the defense would get like a 3 and out. And then the offense would just go out there and Brendan Lewis would give it right back.
Yeah. I remember, didn't Isaiah Spiller catch like the game-winning touchdown with like 2 minutes left in that
Like
game?
a little wheel route.
Yeah. All right. What else do we got?
I don't think I've ever seen something put in the chat more than Shane Hook's decommitted has been put in the chat today.
Are you that or what do you guys know about JUCO cornerback Anthony Robinson?
Yeah. No, that's like most all time.
Yeah.
This is most in one show. Damn.
I love the chat.
$16 million guaranteed for Christian Gonzalez.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
He had a nice suit on last night too.
Oh yeah, the all white.
Yep.
Yep.
Guy's ready to ball. Shout out to Shedeur's #2 barbecue sauce. It's a tomato-based, rich, thick, sweet molasses-style barbecue sauce with tangy vinegar and fiery heat that finishes with a subtle smoky note. Barbecue sauce was created in partnership between Shedeur Sanders and PLB Sports and Entertainment. And right now, you, the listeners, can go to plbse.com and use the code ALLCITY at checkout, and you can get 10% off your order of Shedeur's #2 barbecue sauce. We got to get some of this barbecue sauce here at the bar. Maybe we'll see it at some point with a menu item, maybe.
Yes, that is definitely the hope.
And then shout out to Fubo TV. They have over 140 plus live channels of sports shows, movies, and news, and it is the place to watch the Nuggets and Avs on Altitude Sports tonight. The Avs, man, trying to stave off elimination already. You're wearing the good luck jersey.
I did. I busted out the good luck Joe Sakic Nordiques jersey. It's the last hope we have.
How you feeling?
I don't know. Like, people really don't like when I say this, but I've never, like, we have a championship. The rings are still, like, hot off the presses. So I just, like, if they lose, that sucks. Mm-hmm. But it's not as heartbreaking as when you're in that climb.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the cold, hard truth.
Yeah.
As I described it, if you spent 20 years trying to beat a video game and then you beat it, the first thing you're going to do is you're not going to be that fired up to go start the video game over again. You know, like, you got to kind of want to enjoy the fact that you made it. They've had some really bad breaks. The whole Nichushkin situation is crazy. But let's fight. Kel McCarr's back tonight.
Yep.
Get one. Game 7 in Denver. That sounds fun to me.
Yes, it does. And you can watch it all happen on Fubo TV. No contract, no cable, no hassle. And you can start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. Go to www.fubotv.com/DNVR to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. That is www.fubotv.com/DNVR.
Ooh.
What's up?
I got something.
Yes.
So we found this post that said 1 year and 3 days ago today, we hit 20,000 YouTube subscribers. That was an account at that time that was 7 years old. 1 year since then, we are at 39,000 YouTube subscribers. And I figured, hey, why don't we just double that up today? So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, it would be amazing if you could subscribe and help us hit that 40,000 number, doubling it in 1 year. An incredible, incredible achievement for us, all of the people who work so hard here at DNVR, and a huge, huge assist to the man himself, Coach Prime.
Yes.
Because I looked again and I saw that December 27th is when we hit 30,000. So that means in the Coach Prime era, pretty much all of that, another 10,000. Just incredible. So thank you guys so much. Also, someone I saw wrote, they saw me on Neely's channel today. Hilarious conversation with Neely this morning because he texted us a screenshot of 2 potential thumbnails. One was me and one was Coach Prime. And he was like, I almost went with this one, but I think I'm going to go with Coach Prime. The obvious choice. And then I said SMH, bad decision or something along those lines. And then just for fun, he changed it to me.
That's amazing.
So shout out Neely. That was funny.
You're now firmly entrenched in the pregame show lore. You got your own
I got my own thumbnail. Maybe if he's smart, he'll change it back to Coach Prime.
Yeah, probably.
But I saw some really, really nice comments in there about us and me. So thank you guys.
Yeah, the support's been amazing. The support on Twitter has been amazing too. We're up like over 8K followers on Twitter, which is insane.
Which is like what, 400%?
Yeah, I mean, I got the account and I think I was at 4,700 before Coach Prime got here.
Well, and again, you know, we started all these accounts and all this stuff in 2015.
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy, like the exponential growth over such a short period of time for obvious reasons, but still incredible to see.
Right. All right. Let's talk about some of the top players available in the transfer portal and try and figure out, or maybe talk this out so that we can piece together some possible commitments. I'm going to start with the On 3 top 20. Top guy, I believe this is the top guy on 247 Sports portal list too, is Jordan Hudson, the wide receiver out of TCU, the former 4-star. Hasn't committed
former 5-star,
yet.
I think.
Yes, former 5-star, current 4-star transfer.
Yep.
Hasn't committed yet, but it's all but sounds like it's a lock to SMU for him.
Okay.
So he's off the table. Next guy would be Jaleel Tucker, who was a cornerback for Oregon. It says he's must be 2021. But this guy, 6 foot 180, entered the portal on the 17th. I can try and look up height and stuff real quick. But Oregon's had like a bit of an exodus too. I mean, I guess everyone has in this day and age, but Oregon's gotten hit pretty hard by the portal, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think it's just the downside of recruiting really well. is you're just going to have a lot of guys. Like, the hardest thing in college football from here on out until they change the rules again, which they probably will after Coach Prime pulls this off.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is going to be maintaining depth. And because if you're Oregon, you have 4-star depth. And those 4-star guys don't want to be depth.
Right.
They were the stars of their high school teams. And so they see greener pastures, starting opportunities, and that's what's working so well for Colorado right now. You just go get these guys who are too good to not play, but not good enough to play at the Blue Bloods. I don't know if Oregon's quite at that point, but
right.
They've always recruited really, really well.
For sure. So 2022 4-star, 145th overall player, 17th overall cornerback. Ran a 10.78 100 meter dash. Yeah.
How does a corner not want to play for Colorado?
At this, I don't know. I don't get it.
Other than seeing Travis and Cormani, I guess.
Right. I mean, I guess playing time maybe probably isn't the best here because of those two guys, but I mean, not many other coaches have the cachet that Coach Prime does.
Yep.
Especially in that area.
Also, shout out to everyone who helped blow up that graphic we put out yesterday, the infographic.
Yeah.
It got tons of traction. And just, put it in the back pocket for whenever someone has a dumb take.
I'll just say I've seen a lot of mentions of people getting added.
Quote tweeting it?
Yep.
Yeah, I have too.
Yep.
Smart.
It's
and of course, those people just ignore it,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people also asking for, do the one with the added players. Because that's such a fluid situation right now, we have to wait at least a little while to see who they're going to add, or else we'd be updating it every single day. So we will do it. I think that there were some other teams' fans who thought that would be like a bad thing. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, now show the players who are coming in. It's like, the players that are coming in already have more production than all of these people combined.
Yes. People just don't know what they're talking about with this team, man.
Someone pointed out Xavier Weaver, more yards than all the wide receivers combined.
Isn't that insane?
That's another post we should do, because I did the Alton McCaskill one.
Right.
Should go with guys who are actually on the team.
Yeah, legitimately. And then Jimmy Horn is just like taking his game to another level since then, so you can expect him to probably even top what Weaver put up last year. They have a better quarterback.
Shane Hooks, if he comes.
Yeah.
10 touchdowns.
Oh, for sure.
Crazy.
Over. Next two guys. Quarterbacks. And they need a quarterback for sure now.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to get one of these guys.
Yeah. So top quarterback according to On3 is Ben Bryant. And this guy profiles kind of what Neely was talking about, a veteran guy who can maybe accept being the backup quarterback. Redshirt senior, 6'3", 190. Obviously, Desmond Ridder played a lot the previous years, and he's transferring out for a reason. So there's a potential option. He is the top quarterback according to On3, though.
There's no way the top quarterback goes anywhere to be a backup. Just no way. And he wouldn't. I don't think he would be transferring if he wants to stay a backup. And that's going to be the hardest thing for the Buffs, is they might have to find a guy who either is really young and so can see the path to how it can work out at CU for him, or a guy who wants to get closer to home, something along those lines. Like, this is going to be this is the one I have the most questions about. I don't doubt Coach Prime's ability to recruit, anything like that. I doubt someone's willingness to transfer to be a backup, which, if we're being completely honest, couldn't be more clear at Colorado, maybe more as much as any of, tied with 10 other schools in the country where it's so obvious who their starting quarterback is.
Next guy is Brady Allen. He was a former Purdue quarterback. This guy's only a redshirt freshman, though. And with already having Ryan Staub and Casey Wiseman on the roster right now, redshirt freshman, maybe not the best option for backup quarterback.
But goes to what I was saying about he can envision, okay, well, I'll eventually be the starter. Or that's something that you can tell him. Right. We're looking at you as a long-term solution, whatever that may be. So I look to that honestly more. Speaking of transfer quarterbacks.
Yes, I was going to bring it up.
Oh, baby. Nebraska quarterback Casey Thompson hits the portal. And Casey Thompson, Buffs fans will remember because he started, or no, he didn't start. Gosh, what was that horrible quarterback for the Colts name who went to Texas? Anyways, he came in relief after an injury to Texas's quarterback against the Buffs in the Alamo Bowl. Casey Thompson did, and he carved us. He was awesome in the game. Him and Bijan Robinson, like it was tough. It was a tough one for us. And then he went to Nebraska, where I thought he was pretty solid last year. Nothing crazy, but 63% completions, 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. And when I watched those games, I was like, man, this kid is really capable of like making big throws. He's making great throws to Trey Palmer down the field, blah, blah, blah. When I thought of this game, I was like, man, if Casey Thompson takes the next step, that's going to be a tough, a tough quarterback. Now, what Nebraska fans are saying is that this guy was brought in by Matt Rule. This kid transferred in, Jeff Sims, and they're like, well, he was the clear starter. How? Bro has JT Shrout-ass stats. 58% completions, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions?
Yep.
On 188 attempts. So it's not like when I first read that, I'm like, oh, he must have only played spot duty. No, because the year before, he also had 188 attempts, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And Nebraska fans are like, oh, yeah, well, he was going to be the starter anyway. That's why Casey transferred. What? I just if there was a line, the line just moved multiple points to me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Jeff Sims.
Ellinger. There it was.
Yes,
Sam
Ellinger. I already forgot that. Forgot about that, dude.
Watching him play for the Colts was
rough. Yeah. Yeah, man. He's not a good quarterback.
So Tony says Jeff Sims is an elite athlete. I looked at his rushing stats. He had 400 rushing yards.
Okay, so that's the only I think thing if you're, of course they're not watching, but a Nebraska fan would be in support of Jeff Sims.
They probably are watching. They think about us a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Is that he is very athletic, but also Thompson was athletic too, though.
Very.
So I don't understand how you rationalize this is better.
Yeah, I mean, they're just the way they're rationalizing it is, well, this was Matt Rule's guy. This is the guy that he went out and got. I'm like, all right, good luck with that.
Good luck, Nebraska.
Casey Thompson, I bet you goes to a big school and starts.
I wonder who he goes to now at this point.
I don't know.
He's looking for a starting quarterback right now.
I mean, Alabama just gets everyone, but they have 6 quarterbacks.
Oh, and they just got
that are all 4 stars or better.
The Notre Dame kid, Buckner, I think.
Yep. I wonder if they would have gone after him had this happened yesterday.
Interesting. But that adds another wrinkle to the portal. I mean,
everyone's saying he's a running quarterback. His running stats aren't very good.
I mean, he's got only... I already changed pages. His leading year of rushing was his freshman season, and it wasn't even 500 yards. It was 492. 4.1 yards per carry.
Yeah, so he's not I'm sure he is a dual threat for sure. You got to be able to run to put up 400 yards, but not oh God, what was that kid's name for Arizona who just killed us? Khalil Tate.
Yes.
That's a running quarterback.
Yeah.
He actually almost put up 400 yards on us. Literally rushed for over 300 yards in a game against us.
It's amazing.
It's not amazing. It was terrible.
You just never hear about a quarterback running for 300.
And in the same game, Philip Lindsay went for 280.
That's insane.
A crazy game.
Man, rip that Arizona hype from that team because we were talking Khalil Tate Heisman the year after for a week and stuff.
Khalil Tate would have won the Heisman unanimously if he played Colorado every week.
Well, multiple people could have done that the last few years. All right. Next guy we'll talk about is Lorenzo Styles Jr.
What is going on?
Former Notre Dame. All these Shane Hooks people? Is that what you're...
No, they said, his stats won't be good, of course. Look at his competition. He plays Georgia every year, but he plays in the ACC. I mean, I'm sure there's a Georgia Tech-Georgia rivalry, but That's not the SEC.
No. The ACC it's okay, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, he's playing in the Big Ten now.
Yeah.
That's
a
arguably a better conference.
Yep.
Actually, not even arguable. It is a better conference.
It is. Lorenzo Styles Jr., former Notre Dame receiver, entered the portal, I believe, just a few days ago, on the 21st. This was a 4-star 2021 recruit. This guy, I think he did a little bit on the field. Yeah, so last year, only 30 receptions, 340 yards, 1 touchdown. Maybe not the size that we keep talking about and looking for. I mean, 6'1", 180 is pretty average, I feel. So
Yep. Standard wide receiver.
The next guy...
Get the homie Will putting in work for us.
What's up, Will? Get those like numbers up, baby.
What is that? A senior pick?
Yeah, his graduation picks. These kids coming up for him. Isaac Ukwu is number 6 on On3's list.
Yeah, need
him. The guy after that is a guy who's visiting this weekend, Cameron Johnson.
Big need.
Yep. Him and Travante Sylvester, I think.
Sounds right.
Sylvester, I know for sure is the last name, but he is also visiting. After that is Marcus Washington, the cornerback from Georgia who entered the portal. I think we talked about at least once.
Has he been connected with Colorado at all? Or is that just
I don't
me
think
doing
so.
it in my brain?
Yeah, we haven't seen much Georgia connections
Yep.
yet. Traquan Fegans after that, former Alabama cornerback. He's got a 100% little meter thing on here to USC, however.
Okay.
Who else do we go?
Buffs have a good shot at a Alabama transfer of their own.
Yes, they do. Also, Anthony Campbell is on this list. 6'7", 283 edge.
Damn.
Keep your eye on him.
Okay, I will. He'll be hard to miss.
Yep. Alton McCaskill is here at 18th. Savell Smalls, the guy we talked about yesterday, former 5-star, 23 here. Casey Thompson's in at 27 on this list. So there you go.
So it's interesting with Alton McCaskill because he still has a crystal ball to Boulder.
Yes.
But a lot of people are freaking out because he is at Arizona. He took a visit to Arizona State. I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah.
Until the crystal balls start flipping.
Yes. It's nice in Phoenix this time of year.
Sure is. It's also now nice in Denver.
It is.
And
Beautiful
Boulder.
day today, by the way.
We're about to go on a heater, quite literally. 70s, 80s. This weekend, for the guys visiting, 72, 68, 73.
If we just had this last weekend, man.
Tough
I
break.
wonder if some things would be different.
Everything happens for a reason.
That's true. Another guy who is relevant. At 34, Cam Robertson, the edge out of North Texas, was a freshman last year, 6'4", 220. On their little, I don't even know what the hell to call this thing, man. It just says 57.4% to SMU.
57.4.
30. These numbers don't even add up. 38% to CU too. God damn it!
So I'm pretty
30.
sure. I'm pretty sure the way they do it is like one person says how sure they are that it's going to happen.
So they're basically just crystal ball predictions. That's all
Kinda,
they
yeah.
are.
It's like I'm 38% sure he's going to Colorado.
Yeah. Do I have to put a number on it? That's about it, though, man. Of course, there's more players in the portal, but Syvion Wilkerson's on this list, number 47.
Who was the guy? Did we talk about him who removed himself from the portal? Oh, Farmer.
Yes. Okay. So he was. I just scrolled past his name. He was Joshua Farmer, the 6'3", 250-pound defensive lineman out of Florida State, has withdrawn his name from the portal. So he'll be back in Tallahassee, sounds like. And
So, first of all, I don't think Coach Prime is going to ever play this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing guys enter the portal, find out what their NIL value is, go back to the school that they were transferring from and say, hey, you know, SMU's offering me $50K to come there. Can you match? And if they say yes, then they go back.
Yep.
But you kind of, when you hit the portal, you get the opportunity to learn what people are willing to pay for you.
Yep.
Which is a crazy thing to be saying about college football in this day and age, but it's the truth. But Coach Prime, at least to this point, has been pretty staunch on if you enter the portal, you're not coming back here.
Right. Yeah. So on real quickly, just on 247 Sports list, just because this is relevant, Shane Hooks already listed as the 10th best available portal player.
Wow.
And then number 2 and number 3, Jordan Tyson, Montana Lamonius Craig. Interestingly enough.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's too high for them. Just being honest.
That is pretty high, honestly.
Yeah. Again, Jordan Tyson, that's the biggest question mark to me. If he was healthy, I would support that.
Mm-hmm.
If he was healthy, I don't think he would be leaving.
Right. I want to talk about this before we get to questions, but you guys get your questions in right now. The NFL draft, of course, last night. First overall pick, Bryce Young. But the odds for the 2024 NFL draft have come out, right?
Yes.
And you know who showed up? Mr. Shedeur Sanders.
Wow.
Plus 6,000. Granted, extreme long shot because Caleb Williams is projected. He's like already minus 450.
I was going to say.
But he's on the list. He's like 10th, I think.
So that's what I was going to ask
Yeah.
is where does he rank?
He's ahead of Bo Nix.
As his chances, I mean, the fact that people are thinking of him when they think who is going to be the number 1 overall pick next year is pretty special.
Yeah.
Of course, we would theorize that he would stay for his senior year, but heck, if he plays well enough to be considered in the number 1 overall pick conversation, then I would be so happy for him.
I mean, if he plays well enough to be in the number 1 overall pick conversation, things went pretty well this next season. It was a good season.
Means you probably beat USC head to head.
Yeah.
Won the Pac-12.
Heisman conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah. Who else is on this list below Shedeur? Grayson McCall, JJ McCarthy, Brock Powers for some reason, Blake Corum. And then ahead of him, I mean, Quinn Ewers, KJ Jefferson, all the quarterbacks. Marvin Harrison Jr., of course, too.
Blake Corum is like my favorite style of running back to watch.
He's so sick.
So sick.
He's so dope. Just like extremely low center of gravity, kind of small.
Shifty,
yeah, a little
jump
jitterbug.
cuts.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love Blake Corum. All right. Shout out to our friends over at the Infinity Park and the American Raptors. If you didn't get the ticket you wanted as an elite athlete, check out the opportunities at Infinity Park. Rugby just may be your next ride. The American Raptors, compiled of athletes from all over the sports world, former football players, basketball players, track stars. If you yourself, as I said, check out the opportunities at Infinity Park. If you are a former athlete and want to keep on going through with your athletic career, American Raptors games are free to watch on their website, and tickets are just $10. They're streamed live on ESPN Plus, and you can see plenty more from Rugby Town, USA. Shout out to the American Raptors. And then also shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. We have the Mountain Beach Sour on tap here, and it's pretty amazing. That's all I got to say.
Had some Avalanche Ambers last night on the draft show.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberry Sky.
Doesn't miss, man.
Yep.
Then we're about to hit another few Breckenridge brews here for day 2 of the NFL draft, and you too can have some Breck Brew. Head on over to www.breckbrew.com and use their beer locator to find out where you can find a Breck Brew near you. Again, www.breckbrew.com. Love Breckenridge Brewery.
Will you scroll up a little, Alyssa? Keep going. Keep going. Right there. James's comment. So did y'all see the USA Today Pac-12 power rankings? They got Cal and Stanford above CU. I did not see this.
I heard CU was dead last in this.
This is wild to me, Jake. Just honestly, just the quarterback position should put them 7th at the lowest.
Yeah, man.
But people are sleeping, and it goes into one last thing that I wanted to talk about on the sports book side of things, which is Colorado and TCU line is up on DraftKings Sportsbook, the sportsbook that we use. And it is a dumbfounding number. 20.5. 20.5 point favorites, TCU over Colorado week 1. The national narrative on the Buffs is falling way too hard for the quote-unquote exodus, and thinking that means that this team is somehow going to take a step back. Like, that's what I'm getting from this. You're putting Colorado below Cal. They beat Cal last year.
Do you want to hear what they said, what they wrote? But with this much upheaval on a team that won 1 game last year, it's hard to sort out where this year's victories come from.
Why do you think there was upheaval?
It's crazy, man.
Because the players
It's wild.
sucked. They won 1 game. They're not leaving because they don't like Coach Prime. It's the other way around.
Oh, it's so insane.
Just like pay attention a little bit.
It's crazy, man.
But I'm going to hammer that 20.5.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I will take that to the bank because all that's going to happen is the Buffs are going to fill out this roster, and then eventually I assume someone will come to their senses and say, oh, they actually replaced players who were not playing on a 1-11 team with players who were actually playing for other teams.
Mm-hmm. Is there a money line out?
No, I wish there was.
Soon.
But it is, I just don't understand that people aren't seeing what is actually going on. Especially because Coach Prime has said it so blatantly.
I mean, they literally put Colorado below Stanford, who is literally still dealing with the transfer restrictions that held Colorado down for so long.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy. All right, question time. James, with any new news on the 2 Houston players, McCaskill and Rodman?
Not yet.
Nope. Eric with the question, do you think Coach Prime talks to other players telling them if you enter the portal, there's a place for you here?
Who knows?
Yeah, it's close to tampering there. What else have we got from Angela? RK, how does it feel to be on the first video that has Coach Prime saying, give me my theme music? Uncle Neely video catches a classic moment in the CU locker room.
Amazing. It feels incredible. I'm just laughing that Neely went through with it because we were joking about it. But pretty cool.
Yeah.
We clipped it and put it out on DNVR Buffs Twitter. You can see it. The theme music, we saw it coming for a little while, and it slaps.
Yes, it does. I can't wait, man.
I know. It's going to be fun. You know, I can't wait for that to drop before the TCU game when the real team is there. I noticed like a little bit of trepidation from the players in that locker room who probably knew that was the last time they were putting on a Colorado uniform.
Yep. Probably a little bittersweet moment right then for them there, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
They'll figure it out. They'll iron it out. I'm sure when they're walking out of the locker rooms in Fort Worth in September, they'll be they'll be all in unison and ready to go. Also,
like, I am so fascinated to see how many Colorado fans end up in that stadium. They're trying to stop it from happening, but what they won't be able to stop is all the Coach Prime fans who live in Dallas.
Yep.
Which, by the way, other than Denver, Dallas is the #1 city that watches this show.
It's crazy.
So there's a lot of Prime fans in Dallas who are now Buffs fans who are going to be there in black and gold, and you won't be able to stop them from getting tickets.
Right.
You know, you can do like area codes and this, that, and the other thing. You're not gonna be able to stop people from your own backyard from getting tickets to cheer for the other team.
This whole stadium, I don't even know what TCU stadium is going to be called, but it's going to be black and gold that night. It's going to be overwhelming, honestly.
And did you see the attendance at their spring game?
No.
It was ugly.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't 47,000.
No, it wasn't even 4.7 thousand.
Oh, wow. That bad.
Yeah.
A team that went to the playoff and a team that won 1 game.
I just don't really... people in Dallas could tell me better. I don't think they have that much of a core.
Yeah.
So the people that probably came on were kind of hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Well, now Max Duggan's gone and all the stars are gone. And it is a spring game, which normally doesn't really attract anything for anyone but the classic college football programs.
Right. Dallas, Texas checking in the comments too.
Let's go.
You can throw that up. What's the biggest need for this team? Defensive line at this point. But I mean, they've added 3 guys there in the last.
I think
2
offensive
days?
line.
Really?
Just because I'll never forget that the fact that Coach Prime said the team that we have now is not the team that we're playing with in Dallas was a question referring directly to the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they want to replace left tackle. And I think they want to replace right guard. And I don't necessarily think anyone else is safe either.
Mm-hmm. Backup quarterback's another position in need.
Yep.
Wide receiver, obviously, at this point.
But you could even just say left tackle is the biggest need.
True. Fair. Jared with the question, do you guys know some commits that haven't announced?
I've heard some things.
Maybe. Carpet Tech with the super chat. Record 11-1. USC 10-2. Okay, so USC 11-1, 10-2 Oregon, 9-3 Utah, no less. We have a Pro Bowl team. Believe that.
Is Carpet Tech where some of the transfers out are transferring to?
They're definitely getting offers from there.
We have a Pro Bowl team. Believe that. Let's go.
Yes, sir. We coming. From Oz Maldonado. So, how do we get a more seasoned backup to number 2 when the quarterback's in the portal or because they want to start?
It's a hell of a mystery to solve.
Someone will want to come.
I think so too. I mean, what I was like, we were watching the tape of a guy who we heard might be visiting this week. Don't want to spoil anything. If you want to see it, go over to Adam's website. Want to have respect for the news that he breaks over there and keeps for his paying subscribers. Something that I feel is right to do. But so a guy coming from the lower levels who looked like a beast, and then I was like, man, look at that quarterback. He's making some throws. Maybe it's something like that. You get an FBS transfer who wants to go up and play in the Pac-12 and play for a bigger university, or you get a Division II guy who is tearing it up there who wants to go play in a stadium of 50,000.
Yeah, man, it's tough. A lot of these guys have already committed. The top 25, it seems, have already committed. They'll find someone. They'll figure it out. Nathan with the question, crazy thought, could Tyler Brown convert to nose tackle?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, could he?
Maybe.
Potentially. Would he? No.
Yeah.
Should he? Probably not.
Right. D. Lee, hey guys, isn't it crazy how quickly Shedeur went from can he play at the Power 5 level to top early potential pick for the draft next year? # we coming.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly never questioned if he could play at the Power 5 level.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people out there who did. And I think there's honestly like 2 types of people, which is the people who don't or are still wondering if he's going to be able to make that transition. Or there's people like us who are just like, how high is he going to rise?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the spring game, that looked like a guy completely comfortable.
Yep.
Used to the flow and speed of the game. Like there was nothing that he had trouble with. Honestly.
What was he, 16 of 18?
16 and 19, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was slinging.
Yes, he did. He was.
And he made some throws, pressure in his face, deep throws, sideline throws.
Ran one in. I mean.
He put the whole bag on display. Not even at desperation speed,
Right. Yep. Giggity with the question, has anyone mentioned that Shane Hook's decommitted? No one's mentioned that yet.
He did?
Crazy. And Jamel with the question, yes, I saw Sean Camp's gift to Bucky on Well Off.
That looked sick.
Yeah, I thought ours looked dope, but Bucky's is...
Well, it's because his is a more intricate kind of logo.
Right.
Ours is very, simplistic.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
How long do you think those take to make?
So, Allie and I, when we moved into our first apartment together, she like saw a video of someone doing that and was like, we should do this. So we did it with a world map and still have it. And it looks nice, not nearly as nice as those, but it took over a week. And you're like hammering nails in. We got like a noise complaint from our downstairs neighbor from hammering nails in. But the hardest part, and I'm sure, you know, the girl who made that for us, the woman who made that for us, has all the right gear. But like the hardest part was threading the thing and then like getting like rope burn on your fingers. So it took us forever. Had to make like 3 different trips to Michael's to get more thread.
Yep.
But man, she did an incredible job with those. And like the intricacy and the layers to all of the threads and the little like spiral in the DNVR sunset is just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, we retweeted one, I think a couple tweets of Sean's. I don't know who it is he knows that actually makes these, but like the process of making them.
Yeah, the time lapse was just insane.
It's good stuff. Anything else? This was an amazing week of the show.
Yes.
The best week ever for this show.
Yes, over 100,000 views on the show this week. Just unbelievable. Shout out to everyone who kind of, you know, found us in the midst of the drama. Shout out to everyone who found us because we were on the pregame show last week. You know, we put the show on that channel. Or however you came and joined us. Again, we're trying to push hard to hit that 40,000 subscriber number. So if you're new and you're just checking out the show, we would really, really appreciate it if you subbed. But man, to everyone who already has and has been rolling with us, another banner week, another special one for the books.
Yep, we just keep stacking them, it seems.
Yep, we'll do it again next week.
We're not even in the fall yet either, man.
That's crazy.
We're going to be doing our draft watch along live here pretty soon too. So if you guys want to come hang out with us, we'll be there very shortly.
See you in 25 minutes talking Broncos.
Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.